after 1991 MNC only, that new economic policy only allowed the MNCs to establish their branches in different parts of the country. Now let me explain the next concept, that is about the World Trade Organization. World Trade Organization, it is one of the special agency which is working under the United Nations Organization. World Trade Organization is one such organization whose aim is to liberalize international trade. The main function of the WTO is to monitor the trade transactions between the countries. Started at the initiative of the developed countries, WTO establishes rules regarding international trade and see that these rules are obeyed. The main function of the World Trade Organization is whatever the rules are made by WTO for the international trade transactions, then all the membership countries should follow the rules and regulations, should obey the rules and regulations. Do you know where is its main headquarters located? The World Trade Organization, the main headquarters is located at Geneva in Switzerland. And at the time of its establishment, only few countries took the membership, but at present nearly 190 countries of the world are currently members of the WTO, World Trade Organization. Though WTO is supposed to allow free trade for all, in practice it is seen that the developed nations have unfairly retained trade barriers. But there were many rules and regulations in the WTO. Some of the countries, well developed countries, are not following strictly the rules and regulations of WTO. In some places, they are violating the rules and regulations of WTO. Once again, let me explain. The main headquarters of WTO is located in Geneva in Switzerland. Now let me explain the impact of globalization in India. When the Indian government is allowed the foreign companies in India through new economic policy of 1991, what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages are found in Indian economy? The first advantage is FDI is increased. FDI means foreign direct investment. When the globalization process is introduced in India, number of foreign companies have established its branches in different parts of the country. Thus, foreign investment flow from the rest of the world to India. That is one advantage. Second, even the well advanced technology also flow from the rest of the world to our country. That is the second advantage. Then the third advantage, Indians, large number of Indians got the employment opportunities. Tourism also increased, thus Indian government got some income also from the tourism. Individual income, that is per capita income, also increased. Then next advantage is foreign exchange rate also increased. When from India to the rest of the world, when the large quantity of goods are exported, that thus foreign income is increased, then automatically the foreign exchange rate means Indian currency also value also increased in the international markets. And at last, one more advantage, that is Indian government got some income from the globalization process. Means government is collecting some taxes from the products and services from the MNCs. Greater competition among producers, both local and foreign. But one disadvantage is there was a tough competition among the producers in the local companies and among the producers of the MNCs, multinational companies. In some places, local producers were unable to compete with the multinational companies. Greater choice to the consumers from the several products means consumers have the right to select the best product from the market, because in the market there are number of brands are available. MNCs are increased, number of multinational companies branches are established in the different parts of the country. Foreign direct investment also increased, number of employment opportunities are increased, new technology is introduced. Indian companies are established in foreign, like Tata has established its branches in the rest of the world, like Maruti Suzuki also established its companies in the rest of the world, like many Reliance also has established its agencies in the different parts of the world. So like that, even the Indian companies are also established its branches in the rest of the world. Thus these companies got some income from the globalization process. Even especially the IT sector is well developed due to the introduction of globalization in India. Now the last concept from this chapter is about the struggle for a fair globalization. Generally, due to the WTO and its rules and regulations, every country is expecting a fair trade transactions among the countries, but some of the well developed countries have violated the rules and regulations of the WTO. Fair globalization would create opportunities for all and also ensure that the benefits of globalization are shared better. Government policies must protect the interest not only of the rich and the powerful but also the people in the country. Generally, due to the rules and regulations of the WTO, maximum benefits are going to the developed nations and very limited and less benefits are going to the underdeveloped nations and the developing nations. Labor laws are properly implemented and the workers get their rights. Government should support to the small producers till getting the strong. But basically here what is going on, due to the globalization process, only the large companies are getting huge profits and the local companies are not getting huge profits. That is why fair trade is required. That's all. This is the entire lesson from economics chapter 2, that is about globalization and the Indian economy. Thank you for watching this presentation. If you like my videos, please subscribe, like, comment and share. Thank you once again.